Welcome to KMET 1490 AM ABC News Radio and the Southern California Business Report with Yvette Walker, a show dedicated to highlighting successful Southern California businesses and the people behind them.
Welcome and thank you for joining the Southern California Business Report on ABC News and Talks, KMET 1490 AM, 98.1 FM, and KMET TV. I'm Yvette Walker, live blasting our signal from the center of Southern California, serving a population of over 25 million. Get us crystal clear and on demand by downloading the free KMET live streaming app on Google Play or the Apple App Store. A huge shout out to the team, as always, Mitch, Bill, and Sean. I love you. And to our special advisory committee, Bill Morris of UCI School of Business, Jose and Camila Rubio, thank you so much. Don't forget to check out the Jay Kaplan Show, also on KMET on Fridays at 3. Today I have the distinct pleasure to be introducing Nicolas Guillen Perez, partner and founder of Blu Division Ventures, discussing entrepreneurship and the development sector for green, sustainable, and renewable materials, as well as talking about commitment to serving our veterans community. Nicolas Guillen Perez is the managing partner and founder of Blu Division Ventures, LP. He is the quintessential entrepreneur with a major focus in the sectors of financial planning, fundraising, real estate development, and specializing in veterans, job, and housing opportunities. Under the Blu Division Ventures umbrella, he has launched the Hemp Initiative, which stands for Help Employ Military Personnel. This foundation acts as a resource prism for veterans to be able to acquire certifications to gain increased income opportunities, job opportunities, housing, health, and their complete military benefit resources. Nicolas has an extensive background in commodities, real estate, fundraising, and financial services, and family planning with business, family, and personal planning, which includes full business benefits planning, 401k maximization, tax-free income strategies, group benefits as well. As well as Native American benefits and investment senior benefits. He believes that securing your full financial future and planning your legacy should be priority number one for everyone. Nicolas has been in finance since 2003 and is a licensed financial advisor since 2009. Nicolas is a true native son of California whose roots go back to the early 1700s in his hometown of Pasadena, California. His grandmother, Eulalia Perez de Guillen, 8 generations back, is memorialized at the San Gabriel Mission, the second mission ordained in California. He attended Cal Poly Pomona for his undergrad, majoring in architecture, urban planning, and minoring in economics. He is currently completing a core graduate degree at Harvard Business School. Nicolas has a genuine desire to help others reach their goals, with his motto being, "I would rather create a tide which rises all ships." Outside of just business, Nicolas has a deep dedication for elevating nonprofits and for community development, and currently sits on the organizations that are going to be read right now. He plays ice hockey in addition to all of this. He loves old school hip hop and both jazz and Latin, but one of his favorite pastimes is spending time with his nephew, 3 nieces, and 4 godchildren. So among those lists of nonprofit organization boards that he is a part of include the UCLA Scholarship Foundation Fundraising and Marketing Chair, Cal State San Bernardino Grad and Business Schools Dean's Advisory Board, Black Chamber of Commerce, IE co-founder and ambassador, the Unforgettables Foundation Marketing Chair, Miracle and Dreams Foundation co-founder, NAIFA, National Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors, Political Involvement Committee Chair, Caramel Connections Foundation, founding board member, and past chair. I don't know how many hats you're wearing, Nicolas, but it sounds like you're very, very busy. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Man, you are hired. Yeah, it's perfect. You've said it all. You've done it all. Thank you.
I made it all fit, right? There you go. So as you know, one of our first questions to all of our guests is to kind of take us back and walk us through the journey of Nicolas Perez and tell us what does that look like and how it is that you are here today in all of the capacities that you are serving both professionally and in the community.
Gotcha. I guess with the professional portion, we can start off with. About 17, 18 years of financial background. I've always loved numbers and I like putting together strategies with those numbers and the knowledge of it. And so that was really been my whole passion. I thought that was going to be it for the rest of my life anyway. But then, as many people did during the apocalypse, right, started looking at uh, what other opportunities there are and what opportunities would come from such a hard reset that the world did in 2020. And so, transferring from the financial sector and looking at fundraising for other developers, a couple projects started falling in my lap and looking at what we could do with these projects and blending our idea of my team and I's idea of the Hemp Initiative, like you read off, being able to help our veterans create careers and legacies for these veterans, not just short-term jobs, so to say. And then, also going into the development idea of bringing in a more green and sustainable product line for not just our projects, but for anyone who wants to get into development to be able to evolve the industry a bit more than where it is now. And what was great and unfortunate for those in production and construction at the time, looking at really what happened to traditional material costs all through 2020 and really till now, seeing spikes in wood products and seeing not just oh, well, it's a gradual ease, maybe we can pad it into the budget later. Oh, no, 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 no. I mean, this is from a Monday to Wednesday situation to where not only am I paying more, but I'm having trouble getting it. The one place that I source it, on the other side of the pond or the other side of the country, we're having issues getting things. Looking at all of those issues and placing a solution to it, saying, oh, well, what if we were able to grow all of our own products home based? What if I could just go outside and say, okay, you know what? That'll be ready next week. That'll be ready in 2 months. Those will be ready in 3 months, and be able to deliver you, someone who might be buying our products. Hey, here is a hard date for all of your products. Don't worry about the rest of the industry. Knowing it's American made, knowing it's good to our environment, knowing we're creating careers as well, and not just padding our own pockets, and making sure the ideas that we create, not just having them, but making those ideas happen and implementing what we're wanting to see from here on out. I'm sure this will catch on with other groups and other entities that are more long in the tooth in the construction industry and the construction sector. That's great. That's the idea. Evolve everything, but we want to kind of be the spearhead for it.
Beautiful. And that's why, I invited you to join this program because, as you know, this program is dedicated and focuses on solutions, opportunities, and success. And all of your efforts hit everyone perfectly. And not only do I believe it, but so does Top 100 magazine for emerging entrepreneurs in the commercial development sector for green, sustainable, and renewable materials, which you in as well. Please tell us a little
Yeah.
bit about that.
Yes, forgot about that almost. Uh, so yes, Top 100 magazine reached out to me the earlier part of this year, and their new sector, branching off from just finance and real estate, which highlights advisors and realtors. They've evolved that into emerging technology and entrepreneurs. And so they heard about our Hemp Initiative, which has been around for a couple of years now in practicum, and they heard about what we were doing with the products, which are all proprietary. And we'll get into some of the products that we've got, or I will list them off. And so we're going back and forth about what we're doing, and same kind of thing of this New York-based entity saying, "Hey, look, we love the ideas as well." Obviously, New York and Manhattan are a mecca for developments, and if anybody who knows anything about the Manhattan area, which is where these folks are home based, they are very, very in tune to budget efficiency and getting things done, but making them look extremely, extremely good, which normally comes at a high expense. And so we were talking about, hey, you can still affect your community negatively just by making it something look sexy. Who knows how many materials they had to utilize and how much negative effect that you had on any of your manufacturers. And so with us, not that there's a lot of farmland over there in Manhattan, but we're able to partner up with developers out there and do the same thing. This is a copy paste, not just a California thing, but this is hopefully a worldwide thing. And they see the vision, and that comes out, I believe, in August. So we will come back and talk about the article.
Absolutely. So let's get a little bit deeper into your hemp initiative, what exactly that is, what these products look like, and how this will impact the job market as we see it today.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a few different pieces here. So we have my company, Blu Division Ventures. Really, it's just the quarterback because our team is really what makes all of these things happen. So Blue Division is there. We spot opportunities. We find underdeveloped areas, maybe areas that need permanent housing solutions for homeless, maybe an area that needs more affordable housing. I isolate those and feed it into our team. Our sales end, which is run by the our president there, which is Gary Williams. He's a veteran, I think 40 plus years in military security. He's been the spearhead on the research side. Our hemp biotech entity is going to be the entity that we utilize obviously for our own projects, but if anyone wants to research and utilize it for their projects, they'll be able to jump into hemp biotech and see what we have. Then the third chunk is, like you said, the Hemp Initiative, which eventually is going to be its own operation. So to help employ military personnel, it's going to have an app that's going to kind of function like Indeed, but in reverse. We will already have the various opportunities that are available. And right now, it's various construction. So growing on our natural industrial hemp farm, the commercial bamboo farm, or security on that farm, delivery, logistics, installation, and then eventually inspections for these materials once the project is completed. But as those go, our compound, which is going to be in Klamath County in Oregon, on that compound, there'll be training facilities. So how do I even work with this versus if I'm coming from the cement space, or if I'm coming from traditional siding space, or I'm coming from just residential and I want to jump into commercial, but with these green materials. There'll be training. There's going to be on-site housing for those trainees and permanent housing for the employees that are living up there. Uh, as we build this compound, we've isolated 1,000 acres up there in the county. There'll be a little mini community, and so the community has kind of a skills buy-in, if you will. And so, if you're going to live on site, medical, accounting, community development, the idea is that if you're going to live there, we want to have you not only learn the space, each property is going to have an acre to 2 acres of their own to be able to grow the commercial hemp and the commercial bamboo and be able to put that into the kitty of sales. And so these employees are going to have buy-in and legacy residual income based off of their own farm. So it's not like they're working just for us and they sell our products for a salary and a commission. No, they they are bought in from the beginning. And so as this community grows, it's going to be like a small town and all the jobs that are a part of a small community. And so you on the front end of this app, say I'm a veteran, this is my skill set, this is the branch, these are the awards, certifications, and training that I've received. This is what I'm looking to do, and this is where I would be willing to move, or if I'm trying to move, if I want a roommate, if I'm bringing animals with me. And as you complete that particular profile, it's going to start to isolate the job opportunities that we have to be able to match your skill set perfectly. Because a lot of times, what we see in the veterans community is that when they rotate back to civilian life, the job opportunities that they get into aren't really in line with what they were doing on the military side. Maybe it's not enough action, or maybe it's not enough, brain firing of what they were doing versus what they do now. And that kind of self perpetuates them feeling like they don't have a place when they feel like, okay, I don't want to be in the military anymore. I want to come back and try to, have a stable life. But then they're in a place where they're not really honored for what they did or what they've done or what skill sets they've got. And they're doing something that's not fulfilling. It pays the bills and there's jobs that they've got, but they become isolated and live on a new island here in the civilian sector and not really reaching what potentials they really have. And part of our initiative, we have folks that are retired from the military, from the Marines. They got their doctorate through the Marines, and their job is to help translate military skills to civilian jobs. And then vice versa, teaches those civilian jobs. So if a branch manager is looking for a veteran and they talk about their skill set while they were managing a crew of 10 or 20, maybe some technical skills and some honorary certificates they've received, branch manager might not know what that means. They just think, oh, I have a cool veteran who's done a lot of stuff out there. We want to be able to bridge that communication gap so that way the veterans can say, hey, this is what I've done, this is what I have in military speak. And someone that's sitting across from is going to fully understand and say, wow, that is high level. And I want you as part of our team to be able to maximize your benefit and our business's community.
Wow, that
in
is
short.
tremendous. I mean, that is quite a comprehensive plan and format. Talk about a sustainable, program you have developed there.
We're looking at, like I said, it's the team. We have an amazing team on each chunk of manufacturing and the science and implementation and construction, and that's really where it is. It's never just me. It's a huge group of like-minded, passionate people who really start putting together their piece of it, and we're looking forward to seeing how it grows.
So, in your view, the way you're watching this all, unfold in the dynamics that you're creating, which sectors will this technology impact the most, would you say?
In the beginning, it's going to be commercial construction because as we need, and we look at well the residential side of commercial, which would be low income housing, and say affordable housing. I don't necessarily like saying low income because you could be making 100,000 and not be able to afford where you live in Beverly Hills
Right.
or near the Beverly Hills, and so something affordable on all spectrums. And once we start implementing, and we just take a look at our own closest county, LA County, they had a complete debacle of what was supposed to be affordable housing, but the units cost 850,000 a piece. Like, okay, you're fitting 50 people in there, and you're going to subsidize their costs? And no, and so concept of making something affordable, just in the sense of construction. We're obviously not the first, and there's people who are doing the container homes, which is great. I think a part of LA City South, they did about 100 container homes, which is a 400 square foot permanent solution for homeless, which is great. And so that's not a competitor. That's not someone that we're trying to go after. This isn't Nike versus Adidas, but you should go with Nike in that sense. Uh, the idea is that we can create a different type of structure just as affordable, if not more affordable. And where our affordability is that we don't have our hands out as developers trying to say, oh, just pay us our cost plus a little bit. Everything we use is eligible for grants from the city or state or feds. And so a lot of our ROI comes back from free money. So I'm not relying on me selling unit A for X and then having to keep that there. So buildings that are, sky rises, things like that, eventually that'll come along. But really, where we see the most impact and positive impact is building these affordable units, getting more housing options out there between apartments or condos or rentals or homes, and engaging all of the contractors and people who are part of that entire food chain from the seedling that the industrial hemp plant it starts off with and the farmers that are growing there, all the way to that last inspector who's saying, all right, everything's ready to go, to the cities or city council men and women who are participating in the project saying, all right, we want to implement these homes in our city, which is going to be revenue and it's going to look better because they don't have the tents. And so, I mean, it's front to back going to impact our whole outlook on what housing looks like.
Right. And I
As we move
recently,
on.
actually this morning, heard a report that, housing in California was underestimated by half, basically, in terms of number of units that was going to be required to keep up with the housing market and the lack of housing for our state, which was like, oh, okay, well, there you go. Right.
No, absolutely. And you see it on the freeways, right? They keep adding density by these freeways without expanding the ability to maneuver on those like same size freeways. And so the need is there, definitely. Um, but being able to do things differently with the same goal in mind as a Toll Brothers or as the big box shops have. Here's a different part of the equation that their structure isn't necessarily designed for. So we do it on our side as a small side, and then hopefully it catches on. So they start building with our material. It's great. They can get off of jobs quicker. Things can be done faster, which means people can move in sooner, and then we move on to the next need.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the farming element. You described it as green farming.
Mhm.
And can you talk about where a majority of these materials are sourced from?
Right. And so our main hub now, where we've been manufacturing on a much smaller basis just to be able to get things tested and get products approved, is in Henderson, Nevada. So obviously, plenty of flat dirt space and dry, errant air for the commercial hemp. Now, of course, just to go back, I don't want your viewers to think we're talking about cannabis or anything. This is industrial hemp that's already been federally legalized through the Farm Bill. Nothing's going to happen if you if you try to do anything but build with it. You'll just get an irritant. We had a subcontractor. I'm sure he's being silly. Was asking me. He's like, "Well, if we're using it for the interior walls, the Adobe piece, if I kind of rub my shoulder on it, or am I going to feel anything?" I'm like, "Well, if you tell yourself you will, yeah, probably." So that first of all, super federally legal, all 50 states, industrial hemp. And as we grow out of Henderson, we are going to be really manufacturing out of Oregon, because we also want to do commercial bamboo. Commercial bamboo, which obviously we are not the originators, and that goes way back to ancient times where they were using bamboo for their housing. We're doing it a little bit differently. We actually have a proprietary mix where some of the fibers from the bamboo, which are extremely strong and extremely durable, and as it's a grass, can come back every 65 to 75 days. We integrate that with the hemp biomass, along with some other chemicals and minerals and manganese and things of that type, so that way it's malleable to the sense of us installing it. But once this thing cures, I mean, you have it's its own brick, literally its own brick. And so the farming is just managing those combos, the industrial hemp and the industrial bamboo, and plant them in such a way that every time crop number one is done, crop number two is about to be done in about 2 weeks. And so you can just cycle the crop so that way you can have almost a year-round production. So we would never run out of inventory, which means we don't have shortages. We don't have to worry about docks and Long Beach backups and things like that to be able to satisfy whoever is purchasing from us or whatever products we're in the middle of. We can keep going.
Oh,
And
that's
so
remarkable. So that's part of the positive impact I'm guessing you've seen by using these green renewable materials. Can you talk a little bit about, the testing of these materials and when you're going to have all those, certificates to say, we're ready to go, and these are all of the, the testing parameters that we are secure in, bringing to market?
yeah, absolutely. So we've been testing since November of last year, and we have two universities that have been identified as the two top universities to be able to do commercial materials testing. And we are hoping, knock on wood, to have, or knock on hemp, to have everything completed by late June, early July this year. So that way, not only is it us saying, "Hey, we do have a great and superior product," we have all the testing behind it. And so one product that's just about done are hemp bricks, which would be a replacement for cinder blocks. So we're talking about foundation pieces, maybe around marinas. The top of the food chain cinder block now, PSI max, meaning when they put it in a machine that squishes it and crunches it, and they see what the breaking point is. It's about 8,000 PSI. So that takes a lot to try to break something like that. Ours topped out at 13,292 PSI, so almost
Wow.
double. So little pieces like that showing, hey, look, we're not we're not just trying to be the new cool thing that sounds cool, doesn't have any basis behind it. So no, 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 we're creating a far superior product that can be replicated over and over and over, whoever's a part of the business or the business sector, and not have to worry about, oh, the mine is short because the trucks are behind, and or let's say a new administration says we don't want you mining in this area, but the owners of the land saying, but we have a huge vein of this great material that we want to use and sell off. That's what's happening in the coal sector right now. They're trying to go green and trying to go uh, clean energy. Our administration doesn't like coal, and we don't want, not turning it into a political convo. Just saying, hey, if I'm an owner of 10,000 acres that has a great coal vein in it, I'm shot out right now. Well, if we have something where you don't have to use a natural resource that maybe a political entity is going to cut out, don't worry about it. These are all clean and green. And eventually, as these bricks are implemented, they do have a carbon neutral footprint, and they can actually help draw out carbon from its atmosphere. And so, much like a tree does, these are natural bricks, these are natural products. And so, it can really, really positively affect. But we won't know that until we have a whole bunch of installations and we've seen it for 5 to 10 years and measure these things. So we're very, very excited about um, seeing everything that we've got. Really, really crush it through all the testing. We're not worried about it. Even though it's not done, we're not worried that we're going to get any failing items on the checklist.
Well, I love it. It looks like you've hit it out of the park so far when it comes to form and function. Super excited to hear about all of the other, matrices. So, for those listening, I'm Yvette Walker on Southern California Business Report on ABC News and Talks, KMET 1490 AM, 98.1 FM, and KMET TV, talking to Nicolas G. Perez, partner and founder of Blu Division Ventures, discussing entrepreneurship and the development sector for green, sustainable, and renewable materials, as well as talking about commitment to serving our veterans community when we return.
Every 2 seconds, someone needs a blood transfusion. Be on the giving side. Livestream Blood Bank supports patients in 80 Southern California hospitals. Call 1-800-TRY-GIVING for more information and to set an appointment.
City of Hope is driven to making a difference in the lives of people with cancer and diabetes. We accomplish this by conducting innovative research and providing outstanding care. If you or a loved one has received a cancer diagnosis, go to cityofhope.org to learn more about how our innovative approach could change your outcome.
The University of La Verne is rated first in California for alumni satisfaction. Learn more about accelerated programs offered online and on campus in La Verne, Irvine, Ontario, Burbank, or College of the Canyons. Visit go.laverne.edu. The University of La Verne. go.laverne.edu. Ontario International Airport is onto a better way to fly with over 65 daily non-stop flights to more than 20 major destinations and the easiest airport experience in Southern California. Visit flyonto.com/Ontario to learn more about Ontario International Airport today.
Hi, I'm San Bernardino County Sheriff Shannon Dykes. If you're looking to start an exciting career in law enforcement and make a difference in your community, we are hiring dispatchers, nurses, deputies, laterals, and many more. For a complete list of our jobs and more information, visit sheriffsjobs.com.
Cal State San Bernardino is home to the only School of Entrepreneurship in California. With globally ranked degree programs, you can start your journey today to become a successful entrepreneur. Learn more and connect at entre.csusb.edu.
Welcome back. For those listening, I'm Yvette Walker on Southern California Business Report on ABC News and Talks, KMET 1490 AM, 98.1 FM, and KMET TV, talking to Nicolas G. Perez, partner and founder of Blu Division Ventures, discussing entrepreneurship and the development sector for green, sustainable, and renewable materials, as well as talking about commitment to serving our veterans community. Thank you again for being with us today, Nicolas.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Wonderful. So before the break, we were talking about your hemp initiative, what exactly this was, the fact that it was a new proprietary technology aimed at not only enhancing the form and function of existing building materials, but creating something completely green, sustainable, carbon neutral, and, attractive for developers, both in the residential and industrial sectors.
Yes, absolutely. One of our new favorite things to talk about now.
So
Absolutely.
let's get into the type of companies that are currently processing these materials and in what form are they typically manufactured? I know you mentioned cinder blocks, but is there other forms that you're looking to produce this as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's other companies actually been putting it out a little longer than us that has a hempcrete, and that's a type of concrete. Ours is called hemp adobe, but hempcrete has been used actually with the 3D printing technology, not through us, but other businesses are doing it to where they put a 3D printer, which actually looks more like a spider, and it has an
Hmm.
arm that pours and can pour out in whatever shape it's designed to, and it kind of looks like sausage links. And so those are a really quick way to get 300 to 400 square foot structure up, uh, coffee shop all the way up to an individual domicile. And those, except those aren't our competitors. With the siding looking like I said, exactly like silver sausage links, we could put our hemp adobe on the front or on the exterior and the interior to be able to add more R value to it, more insulation to it, and of course, give you the look of something that doesn't look like sausage links if you don't want that. And so it's out there in that manner. And then again, they're repurposing the shipping containers, and they are utilizing different types of composite wood that's not actually real wood. It just looks like it, but it's all chemical based, so that way it's not actually cutting down any trees. So there's a whole lot of the sector. I think in 2021, the green material sector in all the U.S. was a little over 288 billion in sales. And so it's at a large market. And so we look to not just create a product line within it, we're trying to create a whole vein of jobs and structures and development evolution to be able to put a whole package in with what's already happening. And so we're not looking to take out the entire industry. We're looking to help grow it a little more efficiently.
Wonderful. So, how much of this new technology is proprietary, as you say? You mentioned there was hemp crete, and yours is hemp adobe. So,
Yeah.
please talk a little bit about that proprietary nature of that.
Yes. So I'll just read the list here because I don't want to miss a darn thing. So we have our interlocking construction blocks. So that's number one, which you can utilize completely on its own. And then we have hybrid home kits, and our home kit, you and I and 4 or 5 folks could build one in about 7 to 10 days, and that's one of
Wow.
our ideas for permanent housing, or at least affordable housing in certain areas. And so we have the home kits. We have our non-structural inner wall blocks, and so instead of wood struts and this typical sheetrock, we have our own wall pieces that just slap on, and they come in like a little brick, and they provide the insulation. It maintains temperature, and these things are fireproof up to about 6 hours. It's mold proof, it's termite proof. And when you match that with the interlocking block on the outside, or steel framing on the interior, and then you put these pieces on the inside for your walls, this thing can handle up to an 8.1. It's going to be the last thing standing for sure. And so
Wow.
it's
It sounds like
cool.
an updated version of like Craftsman Homes. Maybe they could be like Hempsman Homes, right?
I like that. Notify it there at 4:35.
There we go.
This will stand as our
Trademark that.
trademark right now. Yes, we'll keep you
There
on
you
at
go.
10%. No problem. You're
All righty.
good.
That sounds great.
Yes.
So, how does your background in architecture assist in these efforts?
I've always loved designing and always loved architecture. Just knew when I was 10 years old I was going to be an architect, which why obviously to finishing in Cal Poly went into finance, right? Just because I knew what I wanted to do, I didn't do it at all. But having a background in it and actually knowing homes and structure, and what I did when I was in school, I took urban planning and environmental design as well, because there's a funny little interior beef. Architects will be very flashy and design these crazy, super amazing looks. But then someone has to actually execute that look, and has to make it stable, and has to make it up to code, and has to use materials that aren't going to burn over in the hot California sun. And so I wanted to know both sides. So that way, when we said we want this swoosh to go over here, that we can actually build it and stay functional, and it'll look like what we wanted it to look like on day one, all the way in day 100. And so with this, it's kind of both of those. Like, all right, we are creating a structure from the environment around the structure. And so instead of saying, hey, we're building over here and we have to import pieces from over there, we're building it to not only be from the environment that it's in, but to be if not a zero impact, then maybe a positive impact in that same environment. So it's kind of a cool little back jump to 20 years ago in in the industry that's really evolving from here on out. So it's fun to see that when they were just talking about green buildings back in 99 and 2000, that we're actually really seeing execution from the entire sector, and people actually believing in these products, and that you don't have to disrupt the environment to have something that's really cool and affordable and fun to live in or work in.
Right, absolutely. And so when you speak about form and function and then
Mhm.
application, can you also address, talk a bit about your relationships with planning divisions in the municipality sector and how that has assisted your efforts to design projects that are, quickly picked up and approved?
Absolutely. And so my financial life, a lot of it was being involved with local and state and federal government. Because when we deal with finance, we're talking about what these electeds may or may not know within the financial sector. So we would meet with local officials. We go to Sacramento, our nonprofit would go up to Sacramento twice a year, DC twice a year, and meet with certain electeds on both sides. Again, this wasn't a badgering of blue or red in any thing for elections. It was just about translating financial bills. So in that, that's kind of something that I didn't know would lead to great relationships on this side because I was just doing it for finance and we were doing it for the industry and for our collective clients. But then knowing these folks and saying, hey, having a direct conversation with, hey, this is what we're doing now. We know in your city you need X, whether it's more housing or more affordable housing or a combination of the two, or maybe it's a like a high desert city that's severely underdeveloped, 15 to 25% developed, and so those city officials are looking to grow more and want to grow with an entity that wants to help their vision. So going back and pulling on all those relationships from finance and nonprofit world in that space, coming back and saying, hey, it's us again, but from a whole different conversation point. And knowing the planning divisions it's no guarantee because they can still be very, very sticky about what projects are going on, especially when it comes to new materials. Because if they say, well, how long does it last? Well, we have steel, which we know can last forever, but our blocks, are finalizing testing. So we don't have 5 years, 10 years, 20 years of history. Whereas someone who started construction in the 70s said, well, my buildings are still up. And so that cross point of we have the relationship, we're trying to build something that's going to benefit not only us but your area, your city, your region, and bring jobs and revenue, still gets, you get a little pushback from, okay, but what are you using, what's the track record, what are we doing? And because we're talking about public safety, so it's not just them being there to badger, uh, but there's a push pull, especially in California when you're dealing with a coastal commission, putting anything on the water, by the water, or even if you can barely see the water, it is its own monster. And regardless of the relationships that you have, you really, really need to have the stomach for them to come back and add 20 different items to your 5 item list and make sure you're definitely ready to not have your first or second or 10th submission have a green light because that's their goal. They're looking at what effect might have on the water, what effect it might have in the beach area, its surrounding areas, and all that. So it's good to have a start, but it's no guarantee that it's going to give you the slam dunk right off the gate, right off the gate, especially something new.
Right. So definitely patience is a virtue,
Mm,
absolutely in this case, right?
hmm.
So earlier you talked about how the Hemp Initiative, supports veterans in the job market. Can you go a little bit more into detail about how it assists veterans in the housing market?
Yes, absolutely. And so let's say a veteran comes up and starts working as a subcontractor for one of our projects. And so they tell us, they fill out the profile, and we know that hey, this particular veteran has a skill set in framing. While we get them into the training for our materials, and then they start working on a project, we tell them about hey, if you want to have a piece of property in our on a compound in Oregon, which we plan on copy pasting throughout the whole country, they can purchase a property again where they're able to then utilize what they grow on their property to sell within our larger market of all of our products. So there's a legacy revenue piece there. But then let's say they really like the project they're on. They have first dibs on purchasing any of the units that they're building. And so we have in-house lenders that deal just with the veterans community. Say, oh, well, you're starting a job June 1st, and it should be done by the end of the year. If you want Unit 27, then we'll get everything done on the back end. So that way, when Unit 27's keys are ready to hit the door, you, as a veteran, can walk into your new place that you and your buddies just helped build. And so the idea is that the access and the opportunity we're putting in front of them completely ahead of time. So that way they know if I want to live here, cool. If I don't have to. If I want to get a couple roommates and buddies from my division, no problem. And so the idea is that we're laying out all the opportunities ahead of time and removing all of the roadblocks that they may or may not have, especially when we talk about the PTSD side, and maybe they're not there yet to be in the civilian workplace. It's no problem. On our compound, we'll have our Veterans Village, which is completely and 100% dedicated to the health and well-being and the restoration of all of our veterans. And so the idea is not just to put them off to the side and let the VA help them out. The idea is to create a more private and deliberate effort for them to be able to come on site, get their head right, know that they're in a place that once this is there, they're not going to fall off a cliff. We're certainly not going to let them. We're going to provide the next steps and the next ladders to be able to say, all right, here is what the rest of your life could look like. And no, it's not going to be in terror and feeling like you're isolated. No, it's going to be something that you love doing, that you're going to have a legacy that you can pass on to however many generations down that you wish. So the
Oh my,
plan
that
is
is
to create that form.
that's absolutely wonderful. So please share with us, how can veterans that are listening today that would like to connect, stay abreast of what it is that you guys are doing and
Mhm.
engage, where do they need to go? How can they connect with you?
Gotcha. Our website, the bludivision.com. Blue does not have an E in it, so thebluedivision.com. Or you can check us out at hempbiotech.com. Either site will get to us. Let her know that you saw us here on your show, and we'll let you know what's going on. Keep the interest list there, and as projects begin, we'll keep them up first, second, and third base. We'll let them know what's going on with everything, whether they're looking for jobs, whether they're looking for just information on purchasing, and or if they want to shift completely where they are right now. No matter where they are in the veterans piece of their life, we'll have something for them.
Oh,
We'll have a
that's
solution for
wonderful.
them.
Thank you so much for mentioning that. And don't forget to mention that you heard it on Southern California Business Report.
Absolutely.
So with that said, let's move on to your community programs and your community
Mhm.
projects.
Yeah.
What are some organizations that are close to your heart today?
Well, Black Chamber of Commerce Inland Empire, BCCIE, and our crazy, amazing, talented. What else did she tell me to say? No, just kidding. Our president, Miss Tammy Martin Riles. Uh, we started this in 2016, I believe. We were bored of a different chamber and didn't like the direction it was going, and so we decided to kind of launch our own and be able to focus on uh, political involvement, schools, students, and community activism. And so since then, we do 3 mixers a month: first Friday, second Monday, and the fourth Monday. And even if that fourth Monday and the first Friday of the next month is in the same week, we are going to host an event, because the idea is that we want to make sure, since we represent the Inland Empire, huge territory, huge area, we do them all over the IE, and we're able to not only find the small businesses that need help and expansion, but be able to bring awareness to the community. I mean, even with us, there was an area where in Ontario where I go to dinner with friends often, and directly behind the restaurant was an amazing co-working space that I never knew. And so we have our members and board members trained to, when they're driving around in their circles, to see other opportunities, let us know, hey, you know what? I saw a new restaurant. I saw a new this. I saw a new that. And we're able to really, really promote what's happening in our IE area, because really IE does have a big business in it, but it's really the backbone. It's backbone of small business for sure.
Absolutely. And I've
So
been
that's one
to
of
a
the big ones.
couple of the events and they're
Yeah.
just absolutely fabulous. So much fun. Just the brilliance, the warmth, everything is off the charts. In fact, I
It's
have to fill
awesome.
out the application to see if you'll take me as a member. So
Yes, absolutely.
who do you accept as a member? Because I hear Black Chamber of Commerce and I'm wondering, will you take me?
Yes, absolutely. So when we say Black Chamber, we mean we as a board of every color are focusing and being aware of what the Black community in the Inland Empire has struggle wise and need wise. But our founding board had Mexican, Guatemalan, white, Asian. And the idea is that we're inclusive. That's everybody. Because the idea with the chamber and growing a business, we should all be green, because we're trying to be successful, and not that money is just the ultimate level of success. Money's a tool. So if you have more tools, you can get more projects done. You can then recirculate that energy and that tool, use that tool more effectively, the more of it that you've got. And so we accept everybody except for the one guy. Remember what we talked about last time?
All right. So let's talk about some upcoming events that you're excited about. And I've been holding it in this whole time because I'm just really excited about it myself.
Yes. And so, again, during just an apocalyptic lockdown conversation with a couple buddies, we're talking about how we used to have concerts when we were kids, concerts in the park, car shows, especially in the Inland Empire area. There was always great car shows. Route 66 is the heart, or one of the hearts of the San Bernardino area.
Right.
And so, in again putting together an awesome killer team, we are bringing the first Cali Classic Music Fest. That's June 5th, first Sunday in June. It's going to be a classic and a lowrider car show. We have, as it stands right now, 72 vendors that are going to participate. We have a kid zone. There's going to be a little train that's running around a facility. It's going to be held at the 66er Stadium, the Samuel Stadium in San Bernardino, really the starting place of Route 66. And then in the evening, we have a great old school R&B, funk, jazz, and Latin jazz concert. We have 7 different performers, all local, all from the IE. That again, like we were talking about before, we want to create great economic impact where we are. So these are all Inland Empire performers that have some of them are old school, some of them are newer, and got to check our site out. Got to check see who's performing because I don't want to spill the beans too much, but it's going to be from 11 to 10 p.m. all at the stadium. Great music, great fun, great, beautiful vehicles, and some amazing vendors that are also looking to really create a positive impact with their business in the community.
Wonderful. So let's talk a little bit more about the format because I know you're going to have a VIP, you're going to have a full, multi-course dinner, which I'm looking at the menu right now. My goodness, it's almost dinner time. And
Yes.
I am just shocked at the starting price. You're talking about $50 per person with plates that include lobster or prime rib, filet mignon, New York strip, baked salmon, tarragon chicken, hilltop chicken, Italian pasta sauce. I mean, I'm ready for dinner and I'm
Yes.
looking at all of this, dessert, beverage, sides, the whole 9 yards, starting at $50. But I digress because I focused on the menu. Please share with our audience, the full format of what it is they can expect at this event.
Absolutely. So doors open at 11 o'clock, and the car show, Kid Zone, and we'll actually have some small performances throughout the day with a few DJs going on. That portion there, it'll be the vendors and the car show. So you'll be able to see custom bikes, motorcycles, lowriders, old school classics, European classics, and engage with a lot of the community businesses there. As that day goes on, towards the end of the day, the lowriders are going to be hosting a hop competition. So I don't know if you've seen lowriders that dance front, back, side to side, like Snoop talks about. He's not just rhyming in the song; he's really talking about the vehicles hopping. And so, a local business, CMB Hydraulics, is the sponsor for the hop contest, and they are going to be uh, giving a great show. It is going to be really fun. If you've never seen a lowrider show, I don't just mean the cruises where these beautiful vehicles drive by you. I mean, to really show off what some of these cars can do, you're definitely going to want to come and see that. The show itself, just to come in, it's free. Come on in. It's for the community. 15 for seating VIP there, so that way if you want to hang out, grab your hot dogs or grab your Mexican food trucks and get your nice icy and have a little seat. $15. We're going to have stage, be a DJ, all that fun stuff. And as we transfer into the evening, VIP tickets for the actual show is including dinner, like you said it perfectly. You said it much better than me. And they said there's 7 performers. So it's going to be going on for about 2.5 hours. So the VIP is going to be a great setup. Highly suggested. And you'll be able to engage with kind of our production crew. Again, this is a team effort. This is not me. Our team is really what made this super mega. And come check it out because we want to do this in Long Beach and we want to do it in Oakland. And we want to make this a recurring thing where everybody knows, hey, the Cali class is coming back. Make sure you don't miss it.
Wonderful. So this will be the official first annual launching
Yep.
charter event here
Yep.
in San Bernardino County, right on
Mhm.
Route 66.
You got it.
So also Little Bird mentioned to me that you're going to be maybe launching a new cigar line for the VIP lounge. Can you just
Yes.
talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so a co-partners and I at the event, there is going to be in the VIP, we are going to have a cigar lounge with a local manufacturer that's actually right in Rialto. We are going to launch Casa Lobos, wonderful cigar line where it's family owned, not over here, not just over here in Rialto, but on the farm in Nicaragua. And so come see us and check out Casa Lobos.
Casa Lobos, which translates to Wolf's House,
You got it.
correct?
You got it.
And so how many car clubs are you currently working with?
So
Are
we
you
are one of
expecting?
our partners for the event is the National Lowrider Association, and what's great with them is they've been around since the beginning of it, the actual not just the entity, but the current board, and they understand that lowriders and lowrider community has been kind of pinned with this stigma of, oh, that's old school gangbangers. Like these guys have jobs and they got 8-year-olds they got to get to school in the morning, just like the rest of us. So the idea with them and their partnership, they're not just attending. Their partnership is say, hey, look, we like the idea of you being able to create a family fun type of an event, and also being able to show off the vehicles, and then also kind of bridging the gap of the Hispanic lowrider community and the African American lowrider community kind of being separated over the years through gangster rap and various reasons. We're going to be able to blend. You're going to see all colors there. Everybody who's got vehicles, and they want to show that their car community is just as inclusive, and they want to remove the stigma from the low rider background.
I love it. I'm so excited. I'm going to be there and I can't wait. And so for anyone that wants additional information, go visit www.ccmf2022.com. That's California Classics Music Festival 2022.com, ccmf2022.com. Thank you so much for being with us today, Nico.
Thank you for having me. Absolute pleasure.
Awesome. So for everyone listening, don't forget to look for us on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Check us out on scbrtalk.com. And don't forget to download the free live streaming app on Google Play or the Apple App Store. And don't miss my interview with Ben Dake in part 1 of a 3-part series of cryptocurrency. He is a technology consultant in the Southern California area with 28 years experience consulting on matters ranging from acquisitions of companies and large property upgrades to the day-to-day management of both small and medium-sized businesses. Ben started to dabble in crypto back in 2013 with the now popular Dogecoin, but got more heavily involved in 2018. Ben created a proprietary trading algorithm and automated it for use in the crypto space with different exchanges and uses that are used to manage funds of the family office he is a part of. On the business side, Ben is part of the technical crypto arm of Blue Ocean Asset Management, also known as BOEM. Ben is leading the blockchain side of the proprietary products that BOEM will bring to market, including overseeing smart contract development, security auditing, and infrastructure management. Ben is also the CTO of a bond offering that will be using tokenization to come to market in the 4th quarter of 2022. So as I said, next week, Ben Dake will be back for part 2 of a 3-part series aimed at understanding the landscape of cryptocurrencies and its impact on the future of global financial systems. Don't miss it. See you all next week.